It's finally here. The war between the living and the dead. What we've been waiting 7 seasons for on Game of Thrones. Now, the biggest impact that fans are going to have to ready themselves for is that we're going to have to say goodbye to some folks. Some of our favorite characters. And before that, before we hit this conclusion, I have a question. And that question, simply put, is, who is the best sword fighter on Game of Thrones? Now, to limit this, to make this to where this is even manageable and as approachable as possible, I'm going to have to phrase it this way. Who is the best currently living sword fighter on Game of Thrones? And we have an excellent roster throughout the entire series. And if I didn't specify living, there's just way too many people. So, with regards to that, there is a short roster, Ninja Notes, short roster, and they're all going to participate in the coming battle. So, the short roster, as of right now, it's 4 characters. It is the Hound, Jorah Mormont, Arya Stark, and Brienne of Tarth. Now, these are my favorite picks with regards to their a number of reasons, but I feel that they embody some specific traits with regards to their strength, durability and toughness, technique, and combat adaptability. Combat adaptability being that sometimes it doesn't matter, you could have the best martial skill, but unfortunately, if your opponent throws something at you, something that you are completely incapable of countering or maneuvering around, then sometimes it throws all the rest out the window with regards to, is this even something that the character will survive? For example, Jorah Mormont in the Fighting Pit Finals. I'm sorry, Jorah, but you know this is true. He got no game against the water dancing. He tried to adapt coming at the very end, but that guy could have sealed the deal if it wasn't for a bad case of a spear in the back. So, with regards to this, and not to put the man down. Not to put the man down because he made the list. He made the list. So, okay, Jorah, I mean, you've shown yourself in your caliber of fighting prowess for your house amiably over 7 seasons. And in the most recent seasons, especially, even as you consider that he was more or less a dying man, But anyways, so at this time, I feel the best sword fighter, the best currently living sword fighter in Game of Thrones is Brienne of Tarth. But wait a minute, did you just say all that great stuff about Jorah? Yes, I did, but I will explain myself. With regards to strength, durability and toughness, technique, and combat adaptability, I really don't see too many competitors with regards to this. She has shown herself in her military career, her martial career probably is a better way to put that she is someone who is capable of maintaining. She showed herself off. When she hit the scene, she was one of the best chivalric knights. From there, she has been on many quests and adventures to where she has shown herself capable against multiple opponents, as well as opponents that have also shown to be kind of at the upper crust of fighters with regards to the show's canon. And particularly, what I think does kind of cement this is her victory against the Hound. Now, Sandor is someone who is kind of monolithic. This is someone who towers above pretty much any opponent that he's ever come across, and we do know for a fact that he was raised with, military training. He was expected to be a knight. We know from his backstory that there was the expectation that, he grow up to be a good fighter. So, I mean, it's not all brute strength with him. That's his go-to fallback. 90% of the time, that's his go-to fallback, is that, very similar to his brother, if he gets his hands on you, you're dead. There's not really many opponents that can kind of go toe-to-toe with him. So, in their fight, Brienne of Tarth and the Hound, when they met, I'm going to interrupt myself, even with regards to this, because I know that a lot of people try to water down Brienne's like victory against the Hound, saying that, well, the Hound wasn't at 100%. I do not believe that Brienne of Tarth was at 100%. It wasn't like she just came out of a spa, got a, full on like muscle massage, gulped down a couple of protein shakes, and also she had like a full 10-hour night's sleep or something. No, her pilgrimage to try to find the Stark sisters was something that took priority with regards to this. And anyone who's ever been out on a real-life, like, in-the-bush hunting trip, you just know that, okay, if you go through your rations, then you have to hunt for what you need to eat. That being said, hunting, it takes a lot of time and energy, and sometimes you just don't have that. And she was in a rush, because she wanted to try to get into contact with the Sansa sisters as quickly, the Stark sisters, whatever. The Stark sisters as quickly as possible. And so she just didn't have time on her side with regards to that. So, with regards to a pilgrimage, I have no idea, like, she may have had a rabbit, a fox, I have no idea what animals live in the region of the Eyrie, in the region of the Vale. So, yeah, it's not exactly like she was, at her top game, like, either. Now, anyways, okay, so the actual fight proper. Now, the actual fight proper actually had them going more or less toe-to-toe. I think she was reeling a little bit early on that fight because of the Hound's overwhelming strength. And mid-fight, we saw that her superior sword technique is something that could have easily ended the game, especially for the Hound. She had the sword at his throat and said, "I do not want to kill you, sir." And if it was just a matter of sword technique, very similar to what we have seen her do to many other opponents, she could have just sealed the deal right there. But because she is such a amiable, noble character, she decided, you know what, I'm going to give you the opportunity here, because that was her invitation. I don't want to kill you, sir. Like, if you also want to help me protect, the Stark girl, this is the invitation, this is the door. And in RPG terms, the Hound is a tank. He is the best example of a tank I can give you. Grabs the sword, disarms her, and then it becomes, it's all in the arena of hand-to-hand. And, yeah, we see with regards to combat adaptability, okay, you take a sword out of her hand, she's still got her fists, she can kick, she can bite, she is an excellent improvisational fighter. And yeah, like a lot of people say that she didn't actually win that fight. Once again, the Hound is a tank. And even he has admitted this in the, in episodes that followed. A character asked, "Oh, don't you think there's some other reason why you're still here?" Well, he said, "I'm here because I'm tough to kill." Yeah, that's pretty much it. If Brienne of Tarth was also interested, she could have ended it when, go down the cliff, and there we go, But she didn't. She had the greater priority, which was to find Arya Stark and to try her best to live up to the oath that she made to Catelyn, protect my daughters, protect my family. Now, with regards to this, I think that this also showcases her abilities, like with regards to strength, durability, and toughness, technique. Strength and technique, she can go toe-to-toe with a Hound. There's very few characters that she cannot, match in combat. With regards to durability and toughness, just some of those, like anyone who's ever actually been in a brawl is like, ooh, okay, like there's a reason that boxers train as much as they do to take hits, because as soon as you are hit, especially in the head, this offsets more or less like everything else, like all of your other systems, like your concentration, equilibrium, and balance, depending on where you're hit, especially torso-wise, this could just completely mess you up. And she was hit rather brutally. She almost got curve stomped. And and she still kept going. And in fact, she gave him a little Mike Tyson there as well. Like, not only did she take a heavy amount of damage, but she gave a heavy amount of damage, like, back also. And with regards to combat and that also speaks to combat adaptability. Every single aspect of what carried her throughout the end of that fight was because she is someone who has trained her whole life to be the best. Isn't that kind of a broad stroke statement? Doesn't everybody train that way? People are trained in a kind of general manner with regards to martial arts. It depends on the person with their, inherent abilities and their initiative, really to try to push themselves to be the best. And she was trying for that. We know this from her story, that she was attempting to be the best in the Seven Kingdoms. And I do believe that that fight showcased her abilities to make this point as on mark as possible. So, with regards to that, I in my opinion, Brienne of Tarth is the best fighter, sword fighter not to get too far out there, but she is the best sword fighter currently in Game of Thrones. Right now she's gonna be at the right flank or left flank. I don't know. It's been a week since the last episode aired, but to think in terms of what it means to be a knight, a noble knight, I hope she survives. She's at the vanguard of one of the flanks. I think back to the words of Barrister Selmy. I am a knight, and I will die a knight. Live or die, I have no doubt that Brienne of Tarth will go down in Westeros history as one of the greatest knights of the realm. So, let's wait and see. I'm rooting for you, Brienne. Good luck.